Here she comes. Oh, what are you walking on? What's this?
Patio. Horrible.
What?
Not the patio, the like, the weather's just doing
Yeah,
nothing.
it's a bit sticky.
What are we doing in the corner?
There's actually a tiny bit of breeze in the corner, which is better than nothing. Big fan up there.
Yeah, I know sometimes the wall's going to be great, but we're going to have 3 sitting areas. One,
We've got more than that, for sure. Veranda out the front. There's the kookaburras. It might be a bit early for some. Kookaburras singing good night.
Benny sent that.
Yeah, better chuffing up.
Huh?
It's only going to get worse, I think.
Have you read that?
Hello, Tammy.
Have you read that?
Not sure if you heard the kookaburra saying good night. Some nights they come right up to us. And they're loud as you couldn't possibly imagine. This is the back patio. All the decking is finished. It's very nice. They finished that off today. We're actually outside, not inside. That's another job out of the way. Now we've got to sand it. That's fun. Sons.
The kitchen, we're still just using the 1 burner.
Yeah. We can't put the kitchen until after the floor's finished. And it's got to be sanded and then treated with a low matte sheen. And outside here there'll be an oil on the decking. As soon as the inside's finished, we can start the kitchen, which is good. What's that?
I'm just thinking if we moved the modem into the office, but that's actually,
I've got to paint the walls yet, so.
no, I'm not saying to do it now.
Hmm.
I'm trying to work out the strength if we can't get that other thing working.
Well, I'm using Wi-Fi here.
Yeah, just depends on
But
the
I
time
agree
of
with
day.
you. If it's more centralised, it makes more sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Sun's just gone down on another hot day. Not too bad though. It was about 95. Good morning, Pam. Definitely evening for us. Sun has disappeared. You would have it now looking at you. We're on the back patio.
Oh, I'll make a coffee. I've got any later.
Actually, it might be better to bring the torch down here. That might give us a bit of light. Next, on your way back.
I'll just bring the other one because,
Oh, that's right. We got another one, haven't we?
yeah.
She looks so small now on camera. About an inch and a half high. It's probably about, what was it, 11, 17. It's probably about 60 feet from me to that kitchen. Hello, old gringo. All hands on deck. Well, I'm not the skipper. I'm just a lag like you. Here's the skipper here. Captain Mystic. Arr. Arr, arr.
I don't know, does that help? Who are you talking to?
Yeah, a little bit. Old gringo. So we've finished the back decking today. Old gringo, it's all done. It's definitely not raining here. Doesn't rain here. You wouldn't think it does anyway.
I'm going to get the coffee too early.
Hello, Mr. Speed. Yeah, as soon as that floor's finished, like I say, we can do lots of things. Be able to paint the walls, fix up the windows, the old windows, do the kitchen. So it's all depending on that being finished. But we're getting there. I'll give you a better perspective of the back patio. That's coming out of the doors. Goes all the way around here. And then behind me over here. Whoop, my hand's in the way. That's going to be helpful. That's where the sun sits over there. And there are the old windows that we've got to fix up the paintwork. Not a great deal of work, but still plenty of work. But the decking turned out real good. It flows in line inside the house is all the same. It's Jarrah hard floor on the outside and Jarrah hard floor on the inside. So you're not driving good. Yeah, it is looking good.
To the other seat.
New Jeep on site. Well, you could do. Plenty of sand. Four-wheel drive would be needed. Plenty of work to do outside yet. Paving, stairs, ramps, pool, knockdown shed, build fairy garden for the wife.
Yep.
Driving home on the road again. Old Ringo safely took that bend. You need a house guest. Yeah, come on down. We will end up with 5 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. So we'll need a cleaner, Tammy. You're talking to yourself today. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just that you get a conversation back. No shine shack? Well, sort of. There you go. There's a 24-foot by 12-foot shed. Suppose you could call that a shine shack. But I wouldn't, let's just leave it in there. Plenty of room in here. We're going to have coffee on a hot night. Why? We do that all the time. Thank you very much. There's my coffee. Yeah, it's an interesting subject. Loads of people, old gringo, are worried about dying. And I always tell them, well, I understand the anxiety, but what about before you were born? How anxious were you then? And they go, what are you talking about? Well, we come into this world and we go out of this world. But we go out of the world back to where we probably came from.
But how did that subject start?
Oh no, old gringo just brought it up.
Oh no, we don't mind talking about that, Gringo.
Death is not really, life is the journey.
It's just...
You know what I mean? Not being alive, well, we weren't before we were born, and we won't be alive after we pass.
But what's alive? See, you don't know. I believe we're
I think it was Descartes who said, this is a philosopher, I think, therefore I am.
Yeah.
Descartes. What he meant by that was, am I dreaming or is this real? But he summed it up by saying, I think, therefore I am, meaning he exists because he thinks.
I believe we're all souls having a human experience, and it's only sad for the people left behind.
Yep, that's true. I think we're all part of something wonderful. That's it, René Descartes. People say Descartes, but I think it's pronounced Cartes. But it means that he was thinking, so therefore I am alive. I was here. Part of me was here. Well, actually, he's not here anymore, of course. So no longer does he think. But is it relevant that people worry about passing? Probably how you pass, I think, is more of the concern. But you're going to pass. We all are. But we had no qualms about worrying before we were born. I don't believe that we'll be punished. Let's try and get that comment up again for that fart. We'll let it. No, I don't think so. I think the biggest punisher for your existence is yourself. We all know what we've done. Lots of good, maybe a bit of bad. We're the judge of our journey. No one else really can be. No one can think your thoughts. It does mean that, people said, oh, well, you're going to go to hell. Well, that's just people saying stuff like that.
Well, you make your own hell or heaven. I believe this is it.
This is a journey. We get to interact on a human level. Best way I can describe it. How do we interact after we pass? I don't know, but I'll tell you after I've gone.
Oh, yes.
I'm not sure whether you'll hear me, but I will promise to try.
By the way, you'll probably notice that he's back on doing the live stream on his phone, not on the new computer. We're still setting stuff up on that.
Yeah.
It's an interesting subject and what everyone believes. It's interesting to know, actually.
Well, it's more interesting not to worry about it.
No, but it's...
In the essence that if you don't know, don't worry about it.
Yeah, I know, but it's still an interesting subject. You can't help but think about it. It's like reading the Book of the Dead.
Well, I'll tell you what I did a video many years ago, Old Gringo, and maybe it'll ring a bell with you. Do you know if I said to you, can I take your DNA and we'll match it to your ancestors? And you said, yeah, sure. And we found, going back 30 generations, indeed, Old Gringo's DNA comes back from 30 generations. At least, it all matches. In other words, you're part of a chain. So the DNA of your ancestors is passed down to you. I have always said that I believe not only is that true, but there is memory DNA. And some of the things that we dream or think about, or that deja vu moment, may indeed simply be part of our historical memory DNA. So what I mean by that is maybe there was someone in the Second World War who was linked to you, and before you were born, when they passed, those DNAs went through just like the normal genetic DNA. I can't see an argument against it. Do you know what I mean?
Well, they also call it cell memory.
Could be cell memory, but why I say there's no argument for it, because I don't know how many times that people would have said this to you, Old Gringo. Old Gringo, you look just like your Uncle Smith, and you sound a bit like him. And there are plenty of kids that tell stories. Their grandparents sit up and say, what? Like they remember their grandfather going back to, say, the middle of the 18th century, living that. And here is a great-grandchild saying it. Now, am I making that up? No, that's very common. So it's not an argument by me. I believe it's a belief that not only is our genetic DNA handed down to us from our ancestors, but our memory DNA is passed to us as well. That would explain a lot of things for people, as in deja vu, like I think I've been here before. Hello, Paddy. Oh, you're here before. That's right. My husband had a stroke in August 2019. Although he received the TPA, Quicker has no noticeable problems. It changed him completely. We have been married 30 years and truly... Yeah, people that go through strokes, it's incredibly hard for them to adjust, but it's just as hard for people around them. Hello, Scarlett. So I don't ever dismiss people's beliefs. There are 3,000 plus religions on this earth. And I'm not making that up. There are 3,000 religions. What does that mean? Well, everyone has an individualistic viewpoint on the meaning of life. And so it should be. It's their choice. Some people are indoctrinated, but most people as they get older choose to go with either religion or mysticism, whatever they choose. Buddhism, Hinduism, lots of isms. But I tend to believe we are all part of something wonderful, and always have been. We're a collective. Individually, we're different, but collectively, we're the same.
But I do believe in reincarnation as well. But that's just me. I do believe. And you carry things from your past.
Well,
like...
we are the sum of our history. So if we could, by chance, just grab Scarlett Popperfield and punch into a computer and have all the facilities to do this and go back 100,000 years, let's say we could do that. And we found and went back in time and met all the previous Scarlett Popperfields, aunties, great aunties, great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandmother, etc., we would find inherent traits of today's scarlet poppy field that have been brought down through time. You're the sum of your parts. Yeah, life is eternal, even for those that believe religiously or otherwise. Good part is that if we're wrong, we just get to sleep a lot.
Well, people come into your to your life for a reason. Sometimes we don't know that reason straight away. Sometimes you never will, but another time you might click, and some people stay and some people go.
We all change. We don't change much, but we do change, usually through circumstances, unforeseen or not. Hello, Buttercup. So I don't fear passing. I don't like the idea of being hit by, a meteor or slowly ground to death by a compactor on the road. Nothing like that. Do you know what I mean? But I think when I do pass, I don't think it's as bad as people make out to be. And I believe people that use the words, you'll go to hell, have a lot to answer for themselves. Because you're not supposed to be a judge in any religion.
It's hard, Paddy, isn't it? Things happen and I know some people don't agree with me or don't like it when I say, but I believe you're only given what you can handle. And some people say, well, I just can't handle anymore. I suppose it's how you handle a situation, what you do, how you cope with it, because everybody's given different degrees of hurt, pain, happy.
You're a great example about what you're saying, handling it. I remember there's review committees on incidents within facilities like prisons. In other words, an incident occurs, then you debrief and review what happened, who did what. And I often heard senior staff saying to younger prison officers that you could have handled that better. And a few times I didn't say it, but after a while I thought, well, no, they handled it to the best of their ability. It's probably up to senior staff to guide them more. So when you say they didn't handle it well, maybe you could have handled their teaching and learning of the skills better. So it's a very bad sentence to tell anyone, you handled that badly. No, some people have good coping skills, some people don't have good coping skills.
That's right, and that's how you learn. We're all teachers and we're all students, so...
The wife believes that too, Buttercup.
Well, see, that was a nice way for your grandpa to go.
What was it? I missed it.
He said his grandpa was 90, could still live on his own, outlived 3 wives, went to sleep in his chair and had a smile on his face.
These 3 wives weren't like neighbours with an old gringo, like he just went up and down the street type thing. Dirty old bugger.
Yeah, well, it's
lucky
rectify your mistakes. It's more that you haven't, well, my belief is you haven't learnt the lessons correctly, so you've got to come back to learn the lessons again. And
well, that's Buddhism.
Yeah, and I believe we're all connected, like, because I believe in reincarnation. Sometimes you look at somebody and think, oh my God, I just know you. I just feel I've been with you forever, and you might have only just met them. To me, that's a sign that you were with them in a past life. You've come together again because there were lessons you have to learn with that person.
Was he the cook, old gringo? Just kidding. But there is right and wrong, but for your responses in life, like when people say, oh, you could have handled that better, your response is the best you could do. Some people run. If there's an explosion, for example, there's a small percentage who run towards the explosion. It's inherently built in each of us, fight or flight.
Buttercups, I used to fear death, not anymore. I do know I don't want to return to Earth. I've had enough. Or possibly, if you sort of believe that, like I do, the way you're feeling, maybe this is your last life and you'll go on to evolve as a soul in other areas, on the other side.
I wrote a book about a decade ago, and you won't find it on the shelves, it's not been published. But it's called Time Slides, and it was fiction. but it threw a few of my beliefs in there. Things like this person woke up one day and he was with another woman and he had 3 kids he didn't recognise, but they all knew him. Everything was familiar to them about him, but he didn't know. But the very next time he fell asleep, he drifted into another time slide, woke up in a jungle, was wearing different things, shooting and eating things in the forest. But he had the skill. He didn't know why he had the skill, but he had it. And then when he went to sleep, I did put some funny things in this book. I'll give you the funny side. He wakes up one time slide and there's a beautiful woman. I mean, it's stunning. There are no children. She is, let's say the word's amorous, at least. And he stayed awake for a week because he knew as soon as he went to sleep, he'd drift off to a different time slide. So I did install a little bit of humour. You know, he's walking around at 3 a.m. in the morning saying, not going to sleep, not going to sleep, not going to sleep.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, Scarlett. There is. I believe in different dimensions. They're not far away from us. How can I believe like maybe 3 feet up. Like people who have seen spirits, for example. A lot of people say we never see their feet. Well, that dimension is 3 feet up or 2 foot up. Sometimes I'm not good at explaining things, so you have to be patient with me. So that's why sometimes you don't see the feet of the spirit. Now that a spirit is, this is me, my belief, and what I've experienced in 30 years, is a soul that's passed over. A ghost is a, what's the word? I can never say the word properly. A ghost
Apparition?
No, like you, like a video reel. You might hear knocking in your house constantly every night, or this ghost does the same repeat, walk up and down a certain part of your house. Residual energy.
Yeah.
So that is a ghost, and a spirit is actual someone who's passed and is still able to communicate with you. But a ghost is like residual energy, and you're seeing what they used to do.
I was just trying to listen to something, but I couldn't hear it. It's okay.
There's a lot of birds flying
But I'll
around.
give you a good example of my theory, and the book touched on this, about time slides. And that is, remember you're here in a local village near Wales that the locals say, look, around Christmas each year there's a lady in grey seen crossing a bridge and disappearing. And hundreds of people have seen it. Now, my explanation of that's quite simple. It's not a ghost, it's a time slide. It happened for real, maybe 300 years prior. But what happens is people see that time slide over and over again. So what are we seeing? We're seeing a little bit of her history, whoever that lady was. But common people who think only, oh, it's a ghost. Well, yeah, you can name it a ghost, but if it's repeating itself over and over again, it's a time slide.
Yeah, time slide, residual energy. That's, like I said, that's just my belief. A ghost is residual energy, and they're going about what they did when you're seeing what that person did when they were alive. And a spirit, you can actually communicate with them. They'll communicate with you.
And I can
poltergeist, I believe, is
I
something
can explain
different.
that as my next thing. I believe that energy that's used to manipulate objects and things flying around are done by the living.
Yes.
You've heard of kinetics and all that, but what I'm saying is people, maybe in their dreams, are affecting someone else. I don't believe it's a bad spirit is what I'm saying. I believe it's energy that people have and the abilities that they can do this. Not all people, I imagine, can do this, but possibly some.
Yeah, that's interesting, Paddy.
So it's not the dead you need to worry about, or those that pass. It's the living.
Yeah, we're more scared of the living. Paddy said, did you read Paddy's? I do think there is something else, because I was at my brother's bedside when he passed. And after a week in a comatose, he opened his eyes, squeezed his daughter's hand and cracked a smile. I've sat with many people as they passed, because I worked in a nursing home. And yes, I've seen, and being honest, call me weird if you want. I've seen the soul leave the body. I've felt it.
The
I've
energy.
sat with them.
Yeah, the energy, definitely.
Yeah.
If you've seen people pass, there's two things. There's a great relief that comes to you that there's no more pain involved with that. But you suddenly realise that there's an energy that's left. You really do feel that. If you've watched someone pass, you'll know what I'm saying.
And here enters the spirit now. Jojo.
Jojo in the sky with diamonds. I had sex with a goat. No, hang on, I didn't. I had sex with the woman of my dreams. Every night in my dreams. Best part in the morning. I still have my money. Yes. Here's the story that I told once. It would have been about 15 years ago. I woke up about 3 in the morning and we had a little night light and we had a really big kitchen and our bedroom came off it. And I sat and watched this young, say, 3-year-old girl in laces, you know, the petticoat type laces, curly hair, ribbons. And I sat and watched her for half an hour. And I thought to myself, am I asleep? And I realised I was not asleep. So that was 15 years ago. And I told Mystic about it. She said, okay. And I wasn't in any fear. This little girl was just wandering around the kitchen.
Morning, Shauna.
But my sister produced a picture to me about 10 years later, about 5 years ago. It was a picture of my mother and her sister. Her sister passed away through TB. But my mother was wearing white petticoat, curly hair, and ribbons. You don't think a chill went down my back when I saw that photo. I hadn't seen the photo first. I saw it a decade later.
Yeah, I've seen some pretty amazing things and...
To me, that's not a ghost. I think that's part of what we said earlier, old Ringo. Genetic memory.
What, when you saw the little girl?
Yeah. It was so vivid.
Because it was... Sorry, because I was reading the text. It was... Who was she?
Well, in the end, I found out through Michelle, my sister. She brought out a photograph
It was your...
of my mother in 1932, and she was born in 29, so she would have been 3, and I saw this 3-year-old girl. Same petticoat, you know, the overlaid petticoat.
Yeah, so it was your mother's sister?
No, it was my mother.
Oh, it was your mother?
My mother's sister wore, like, strange shorts and a
And you saw
tunic.
her before or after your mother had died, the little girl?
I'll explain it again. I saw this happening 15 years ago with you in the kitchen.
Yeah, I remember you telling me.
And 10 years later, Michelle said, oh, here's some old photos. And it was of my mother and her sister. And my mother was wearing the same clothing and was the same age.
Yeah, because sometimes spirit will appear to us
Hello, Shauna.
at a different age too. Like, my mum passed in 2018, as you know, because we went to look after her. Bless mum. And she's come to see me a few times, and each time she's come, she's actually looking younger. So you could, when you pass over, you can be any age you want, and you can appear to people at any age you want. And it's usually younger than when they passed.
Some of you have heard this true story with my wife's mother. She was born on the 3rd of August and she died on the 3rd of August. That's probably not that uncommon, but she did. But this is midnight of the early morning, probably 5 past midnight. I was sitting in a chair. I knew that there wasn't going to be long. But I found Marlene Dietrich singing Happy Birthday on my iPhone. Now I said to Amanda, let's just play it for your mum. Well, as soon as I pressed it and as soon as Marlene started singing, Mum actually came out of basically a coma. She sang the whole song in German, because she was German, and it was sung in German by Marlene Dietrich. And at the end of the song, my wife's mum said to herself, happy birthday to me. And that is the very last thing she ever did. And it was very powerful, because she'd been in and out and not with us for a few days, but she sang crystal clear. She smiled, didn't she?
Oh, Mum, yeah.
And it was like watching something wonderful.
And of course, as Mum was passing, a couple of days before she reverted back to only speaking in German, and she was talking to Dad because Dad had passed 4 years previous, and I was talking to Dad, and in German she's saying, "Oh, you've come to take me," and then she looked at me and I looked at Mum. I said, "Yeah, Mum, when you're ready, Dad's always been here. When you're ready, he will take you." And yeah, then she passed peacefully.
Well, she definitely had a wonderful life, basically a pioneer in this country.
And like Shauna said, no one's ever alone. People might think, "Oh, I didn't make it to their bedside when someone died, they were all alone." Well, my belief, and I've seen it, they're never alone. There's always someone there waiting on the other side, and they gather days before they pass. And they have a sense of humour as well, I can tell you, Spirit, don't they? What are you doing?
You're missing out what people are just saying to you
I know,
now.
but I'm just reading back there.
Sorry, she'll catch up.
Yeah, that's true, Shauna, because it's not that common that someone dies on their birthday, actually.
But it was just breathtaking to watch someone basically come out of a coma and sing crystal clear, word for word, smile, and then at the end say happy birthday to me, meaning herself. And that was it. She passed away probably 12 hours later, around about 4 or 5, 2 or 3 in the hour.
Yeah, Shauna, she did. She, because she wrote it back to German, and I always had to translate to the nurses. And I said to the nurses, "I can tell you what you're saying, but it's actually not related to you. It was actually related to she was going home, and Dad was there to take her home." And the nurses, because they've seen things too, and they just started crying. They said, "Oh, that's so beautiful." I said, "Yeah, it is."
They play different sports on a sports ground probably half a mile away. And yeah, you can hear them, but that's because there's absolutely no wind. It's probably 92 degrees still here at this time of night.
Yeah, men in shorts, girls. Men in shorts.
I'm wearing shorts.
Paddy, you're not weird. Dreams are very... I have a pen and paper next to my bed, and even if you half wake and jot down a word that you remember during your dream, because as you know, you wake up and you forget your dreams. But if you wake up during the dream or just after and jot down key words, and then when you wake properly and actually read your key words, you'll remember your dream, it'll come back to you. And because that's when we're most relaxed and open, that's when a lot of times Spirit will come to you just to show, "Hey, I'm okay." Or, say hello or have a message for you.
Yeah, I mean, the toughest job in the world, if you're caring for, say, a friend, it's still sad, but the toughest job in the world is caring for your mum or father before they pass. You don't want to let go of them. You want, if they do go, to be peaceful. But you grieve for the 1, 2, 3, 5 years, however long it is, that you have to care for them. And it puts you under an enormous strain. But you've just got to stand up and keep moving each day because you're their support structure. See you later, Jojo.
Yeah, Jojo, you do a lot of good work. We're proud of what you do. And Shauna, yeah, helping someone go home is amazing because, like I said, I worked in a nursing home and sat with many passing. And it is it's not all sad, doom and gloom, quiet. I mean, sometimes there was family sitting in there as well, but they wanted me to sit with them. There was laughter and talk about their life and, happy things. And that's what they say you should do if you're sitting with someone that's passing. And things even like on a cotton bud, their favourite food or their favourite drink, put a little bit on the cotton bud and just inside their lip, rub it on their lip.
Yeah.
Because there's still memory. even as they're passing.
It's just, you know, if you really bring down into a storyline your own life, there are moments of absolute splendour. It could mean different things to different people. Birth of a child, something successful you do, something wonderful happening. They're moments that you will always remember and you treasure them. Is life made up of all that type of moments? No. Most of life's moments are made up very boring. And then there are moments that we wish hadn't happened. But you don't generally hang on to those. Most people don't. They'll hang on to those wonderful moments, those things that you saw and witnessed and shared. That is what you dream about, the good things. And then people say, oh, I have nightmares. I get a little confused with psychologists and psychiatrists suggesting that really bad dreams can have good outcomes. And I'm thinking, it's probably not what you should be telling people. You should be asking them, is there something in that dream that happened in reality? Because that generally with bad dreams is what they're about, a repetition of something in a bad moment.
Or it's something you've got to, you're actually being told there's something that you just have to change in your life. But was it Scarlett, did you say the bear and the eagle, I think? Because I do totem animals as well. They're obviously your totem animals. You have a totem animal you're born with.
A biconsonant, a couple of vowels.
Okay, I'll try it. Totem animal that's with you from birth, your whole life. Shut up. And then you can have one that's in and out of your life. Shut up. And then there's many totem animals that come and go.
Funny.
It was. I was trying to explain something. So look at what that animal represents and what that animal is, because draw from its strengths, learn from its weaknesses, and they're giving you messages as well.
I'm pretty sure that the man in the van's animal totem spirit is a cockroach.
Well, everybody does dream. What it is a lot of people cannot remember them. They just don't know how to recall a dream that they've had. But we do all dream.
Scarlett's looking for a prince.
And most of the time you don't remember your dream unless it's something that like really, really wakes you up in fear or in shock or in, oh my God, you know, that was a wicked dream. I want to go back. And you can control your dreams. My daughter's very good at that.
How do we find our totem animals? They're read to you.
What animal are you attracted to?
Careful asking Shauna that.
Yeah. Like...
He's got blue eyes.
Just sit and meditate a bit or just think...
Looks like Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt in white undies with a white shirt going
Dun.
No, it's an animal, not a person.
Well, maybe not always.
But when I sit down and concentrate, if you want, Shauna, I can do it for you. I pick up on people's totem animals.
I will enter your dreams tonight, Shauna. I won't be wearing a ski mask, though. I'm not going to scare you.
Yeah, I will smack him, Shauna. Well, maybe the frog is your main totem animal, Scarlett, but if you've got a strong connection to eagle and bear, they're there as well for you. But you can find out by your own totem animal by just sort of thinking about it and going in and thinking...
I shall go and get some aqua.
What? Oh, yes, please.
Oh, I'm going to move the table just a little bit.
What animal really means something to you and you feel a real connection with it?
Here's my animal totem.
Yeah, they can see your bum. Dear. Yeah, I can do that, Shauna. I'll put my email in here, Shauna, so then you can email me and then I'll do it for you. I like to sit and meditate on people's finding out their totem animal for them. I'm not going to sit here and sometimes it'll just come to me. Sometimes I'll just sit there and say to somebody, "Oh, your totem animal is blah blah blah." Same as I do dream interpretations as well. And again, I like to sit and analyse the dream when someone sends me one.
Some Vasa for Elaine?
Hang on, I'm just putting in my email for Shauna. Hang on, I'll put 2 dots there. I think I did that right. So you feel a whale or a dolphin? Well, that's probably your main totem if you're so drawn to them, because dolphin is one of mine, and the eagle is another, and the tiger. I have 3 that come to me at different times of my life, or it depends what's happening, and then I look at their strengths or what they're trying to tell me or what they're teaching me.
I do know, sitting in a group of people, psychologists, and that question being raised, Scarlett, most of the answers were the same, and that is unfinished business. Things you haven't done, want to do, want to achieve, but haven't done yet. Makes a lot of sense to me. Dreams of things that you'd like to be.
Well, Scarlett just said, why is it that you can't recall any dreams? Well, possible because you're just quite spiritually up there already. You rest so well, even though maybe some nights you think you don't. You rest so well that you get your information other ways. You don't really need to get information or be told things or look for things in your dreams. You're more spiritually aware than other people.
Hello, Danny G. She looks like an angel. Hello,
Yep.
Danny.
That's Fanny.
Walks like an angel. Hello, Danny. Da-da-da-da. She's a Sasquatch in disguise. Oh, yes, she is now. Just because you shave every day, you can't hide it. You're a Sasquatch.
Well, my email's there, Patty, if you want it, with Sean, if you want to email me, and I will look into that for you. But yes, Patty, if you're drawn to a hummingbird, yeah. So you look at what's the characteristics of a hummingbird. What does it represent? What do they do?
Beauty.
They're very, is that all the right word?
Harmonious. If I was looking at a hummingbird, I'd be in awe.
Well, also, they can do things on the wing. What do I mean by that? They've got such great control with how they
333 is a very lucky Chinese number. Scarlett, I'm going to guess, tell me if I'm wrong, but you often do, it's not OCD in the true extent, but you might touch the edge of a table 3 times, or you might tap a table 3 times, or you might wipe an area 3 times. That's not what you think it is I'm trying to say, but it's an unconscious thing that you do. A lot of people do it. Dogs and cats. Never owned a cat, but my neighbour. But you dress your dog up to look like a cat. Yeah, that'd be right. Greets me every morning before I work. And
Yep, that could be right, Danny. What do you feel?
She does actually spend a bit of time.
Sorry?
Buttercup was asking, do you need time to work out people's totems?
Yeah, because I like to sit and think about the person. I don't. Sometimes it comes to me quick, but I'm one that sort of. I want to make sure that I give the correct. What I'm feeling and information that I'm given. I don't want to just sit here just to make myself look good and say, oh yeah, you know, this is yours,
She
you know,
prob-
blah blah
she-
blah.
Probably trying to tell us she'd prefer to do it privately.
Yeah, because I just sit with some music on and I light a candle, and that's not being spooky or I'm into like doing weird stuff. It just relaxes me, and then I can sit better and I think of you, even though
Yeah, you're right, Scarlett.
doesn't matter if I've seen a picture of you or not. I just think of you, think of the name, whether it's your real name or not, and then it just comes to me, and then I just do it. Yeah, I don't have to devote a heap of time. I just sort of need a bit more. Sometimes, like I said, sometimes it'll just come to me. Seeds is one of his is the bear. That's his main one.
Sasquatch is the other.
Yeah.
I'm often mistaken for Sasquatch.
And you know what, Danny? There's quite a few people that have totem animals when I've done their totem for them. They think, oh, how can that be my animal? I actually don't like that animal. Or like you, I've never owned that animal. Well, that doesn't matter. It's not whether you've had physical contact with them or not. It's what that animal represents and what that animal's, how do I describe it? Makeup is. Like a cat is sleek and stalks things and looks at situations.
I would be the biggest, grizzliest bear that you've ever seen. I would stand probably 10 feet tall. The reason I'd be doing that, in my paw for the last 5 miles, I've been carrying a butterfly to put onto a branch. Grr.
Well, there you go, Tammy. See, it's interesting when you start to think about things in your life and think back. Like cats, for both of us, because they're like you, Danny, they constantly come into our life. We never go looking for them, do we?
Mm-mm.
And all cats are different. Even, you know, the breed, the colouring can make their behaviour different. So
Shauna, a snake is a beautiful animal.
oh God, a snake. If you dream of snakes, that means you're going to get a beautiful surprise. See, when I do analyse dreams, they're not bad. There's always good. Buttercup, you spiritual enlightenment or understanding stuff comes into your life when you're ready to accept it and are willing to understand it, because if you're not sort of got an open mind or had experiences, it's very hard for some people to think it's not mumbo jumbo. So you're doing it at the right time of your life.
This cat does not greet anyone else, says the owner. In fact, the owner says the cat hates people. But we sit and talk. She meows while I talk and pet. The owner is baffled by our relationship.
See, Danny, that's something special. You've got a
That's a
connection
unique bond.
there, yeah.
It's a bond.
And that cat is coming to your life for a reason. Shauna, don't be afraid of the snake, because a snake is beautiful. I mean, I'm scared of snakes. Oh, they scare the crap out of me, I tell you. But a snake coming into your life or you dream about them, that's a nice surprise coming.
What it is, I think, Buttercup, with what you just said, when you are in either huge physical or emotional pain, you're really low. When you push through that, and it's nearly impossible to do so sometimes, but when you do push through it, it's a memory that you will never forget. You know how low you were, spiritually, physically, and yet you've risen to be strong again. That is the test of endurance, not only physically but mentally. Probably more so mentally than physically.
It's a really interesting subject, and believe it or not, some people's totem animal has been a cockroach. Every animal has a meaning. They're resilient. They can live 9 days without a head. They've survived. It's not a bad totem animal to have if you take note of their characteristics. Yeah, that's right. All things have purpose. I still have yet to work out a damn flea or a damn head lice. I know they feed other animals, but what in the hell?
I remember I was a young man of about mid-20s, and I was delivering tractor tyres to a farm out in the middle of nowhere. And on my sheet it said, deliver to back door. So I could see the front gate, drove around the side, went round the back. Two big Dobermans come out, and they were playful, and I was throwing the ball with them, and they're having a ball. And I knocked on the back door and said, mate, I got a couple of tractor tyres. So he just looked at me and said, how did you get here? I said, I just followed the map. He said, no, how did you get to the back door? I said, just came through the fence and knocked on your door. He said, what about the dogs? I said, oh, they're lovely. I've been chucking a ball with them, having a ball. It's fun. He said, those dogs normally tear people to shreds. They're guard dogs. I said, oh, well, I didn't know that. And obviously at the time they didn't know that either. But I'm sure if someone else jumped over the fence, dogs have an amazing sensory system about people. If you're worried about someone and the dog's growling, there's probably a reason why that happens. And I remember going out 2 or 3 more times as a farmer. He said, I still can't get over it. These dogs would just tear you apart normally. But I said, I was chucking a tennis ball around, having a ball. He said, I know, I can't believe it. You'll see some, let's put it in its context, an elderly lady open the door and there's a young man with a clipboard and the dog's going off its nuts. The best thing that lady can do is close that door. I think you're right. I think they read people very easily. That's why when they do become your best friend, it's for life. I know some people are very cruel to animals in general. Kick them, not interested now, don't want a dog or a cat near me. And they're the ones that the cat heckles at and the dogs bark because the feeling is mutual. Well, that could be her spirit animal, maybe, Danny. Could be.
Yeah, that's right. Same as, oh, you're saying all those birds hang around you. Well,
for me, when I see birds and I talk to them, I do. It's just a great pleasure. Be it in a river, the ocean, in my own backyard. It's a gift that they give me.
well, if you've got an affinity buttercup, then the horse could be one of yours. Like I said, it's just finding your main totem animal sometimes can be hard, but you're born with one that stays with you till you die, and then you'll have a few others come and go in your life, and they come into your life when you need them.
Yeah, one of my spirits is a train.
Yeah, because can hear it. There it is. There it goes.
Yep. I think there's a limit though, Shauna. Eventually animals, if treated badly by a person, they learn.
Yeah, animals have a very good instinct, and animals are very smart. Animals only breed when the life is good, when there's water, when there's food. Otherwise, they don't. Us humans, we breed whenever.
Are we breeding tonight?
No.
Oh, okay, just thought I'd ask.
We're past the breeding. Yes, we've had our time.
Have we?
Shut up.
Jeez.
Just email me, and then I'll read your email, and I'll sit down and do your totem animals for
Like
you.
the sun in the morning light.
And if you've got a dream that you want an answer to, chuck that in the email, and I'll analysing's a really not a nice word. I'll dissect it.
Subjectively.
I'll dissect it for you.
Yeah, no, it's a no, Gringo. alone again.
Naturally. I like that song. How's the rest of that song go?
I think the song here goes, you're not getting any nookie. You can try and you can bawl and cry, but it doesn't matter to me.
Oh, God. But it is an interesting subject, all those different spiritual things, but a lot of people, I like to hear other people's opinions and what other people believe because they differ to mine. I just know from my experience what I've had.
Buttercup, when I was younger, probably up until I was about 20, I had a very similar dream. Imagine yourself on the top of a cliff and you've got a fair bit of space to lay on, but it's just your arms and legs and you're laying flat on your back. But every time I moved, that part of the cliff would disappear. And invariably I'd try and not move in my dream, but then I would move my leg. And in the end, I'd be right on the precipice, then I would fall and wake up.
Before you hit.
Yeah.
A lot of people have that dream. It's like, I don't know, how many of you ever woke up and for a second or two you think, oh my God, I can't move. I'm paralysed. What is wrong with me? I don't know if anyone's ever experienced that. What do they call it? Sleep paralysation or something? Well, with that, my belief, because I believe our souls can travel when we're resting and asleep and it goes off and does its stuff or learns things or has a rest itself. And when that happens to you, your soul hasn't come back into your body correctly or completely, and you've woken up before that actually happens. So, well, that's
Trust
happened
me,
to me.
if any of you hear of me passing by drowning, because I swim like a fish, I want you to call the authorities. All right? I literally can swim like a fish in the water. I glide across it like I'm a wind-keeled yacht. Don't know why, but I do swim very well. So if you find post-mortem required for Seeds because he drowned.
Oh, don't say that.
Mr. Gangel has been held for question.
Well, no, you can't blame me. I don't even go in the water.
No, it's true. You can't swim at all.
I can't swim at all. Oh, see, siren, they're coming to get you.
Yeah, I think that would touch on what we spoke about earlier. I think we all have ancestral memories. In fact, some people in native countries call it the dream time. That's what they call it in Australia. Literally, their words translate to dream time.
Well, see, again, dreams can also, again, if you believe in reincarnation, your dreams, like you're having there, Danny, of drowning in another life. You could have died by drowning and you haven't accepted that yet, so it's reoccurring. So that's just an experience from a past life you've had.
Just wonder whether the dream involves her drowning in a shot glass.
With the fireman?
No, with a shot glass. If it wasn't for the beacon on the rim, I would never have made it out.
Oh yes, look, that's normal. If people say they've never had that dream that you're naked in public, they just choose not to say it or choose to remember it because we all have had that dream.
I just see it now, screaming, running around her house. She's here, she's totally naked, screaming and running around the house. We were saying, it's all right, Danny. It's
you're
just
dreaming,
a dream.
Danny, yeah.
We will do the video, though.
It's all right, Danny. Every door has a privacy lock on it.
Yes, you enter the room, you can lock it. Keep all evil out. We actually picked a couple of beds yesterday. Oh, we'll send Buttercup one picture, and maybe Danny, she can look at it.
Yeah, I can send the pictures. Now, dreams can be very, and of course, yes, I think Shauna said it before if she's still there. Sometimes your dream is just the fact that you're clearing your thoughts of that day's happenings.
There's lots of, very interesting, Green, because there's lots of cultures that fear going into the water. It's true. A lot of it comes from like tribes living in creek beds. In my country, any of the stories, there are plenty. Where families would be gathered at the creek bed in summer because there's a bit of water there, but it's a big dry riverbed. And then a massive water comes down the river and kills people. So they have this fear, but it's a natural fear of things that happened naturally.
Yeah.
Not evil spirits or anything like that.
Yeah, water, being near water, it can ground you, it can spiritually cleanse you, it's very calming. I believe the same. Water, abundance of life, yep. Like I said, Danny, possibly, I mean, I don't know what your thoughts are about past lives.
I
or that.
love water like you wouldn't imagine. I can sit in the ocean, stand in a river. I love it.
Yeah, I love being near water and all that. I just can't swim.
She swims like a brick.
Yep, straight down.
I love the ocean. That's my favourite. Natural rhythms of the tide, waves and wind.
And listening to the ocean's nice,
Yep.
isn't it?
It's very mystical in your mind. I think as a species, most of us still live
Well, look, we
near
have,
the ocean, but I think it was a necessity.
we have something floating around the ceiling. See the shadow? Ooh.
I think that's your hand.
No, it's not.
Or it could be a moth on top
it's
of
a
the torch.
moth. But just don't ever lose your sense of humour, people. Just because you talk spiritual and you are spiritual and all the stuff I do, I mean, I believe in God. I'm honest. God must have had a sense of humour when he created us, I tell you.
It's funny, phobias of any process, be it of, say, spiders, arachnophobia, or agoraphobia, all these phobias, there are reasons why people have these fears, and a lot of people dismiss them. It's very unfair. It is a therapy to face some of your fears, that's for sure, but not forced to do so.
Yeah, it can mean that as well, Danny. You feel overwhelmed. Probably would sum it up.
Yes, platypus was put together by someone who said,
Yeah.
what are we going to, let's chuck a beak on the damn thing. That'll confuse the hell out
And
of them.
then a tail of a,
And claws of a lion.
yeah. Well, that was close.
I've never been one who has put much faith in star signs. That's just me, because based on the principle that if I was reading star signs out today, that means 1/12 of the planet actually falls under whatever I say for that month.
Yeah, so the thing is, there's more to star signs than your daily paper.
I know
star
it breaks down
zodiac.
into hours and
It,
moments.
it is like a 20-page thing, what each person
Yeah, but
individually
you
is.
listen to them on the radio in the 80s and 90s,
I
they'd be on
know.
every day. It'd be things like, if
Yeah.
you're Pisces, you're going to get hit by a truck. If you're Sagittarius, you'll be driving a truck.
Yeah,
It's like, what?
your daily zodiac, I don't believe in that. There's a lot more to having your zodiac sign written than reading
Oh, you
stick
could drift
veg.
off into Chinese and say, what year were you born in? Well, I was particularly born in the year of the pig, which apparently is very honourable by all accounts, but I'm not Chinese. We are all the sum of many parts, Scarlett. Even though we differ
let's tell me
in
something.
small waivers,
4th of July, 22 years ago.
we have
I
more
was
in
on
common
my
than people
float
think.
at the lake. I felt like I tried to save him. I about found myself with all that over my head. Wow, Tammy.
One is the lowest number that you ever know.
Yeah, I almost drowned when I was 8 months pregnant with
Can be
my first
just
son.
as
That was not
lonely.
fun, but it's true what people say. You get to the point you just think, oh, this is okay, I'll give up. It's just, you end up at a point where you just relax, and then next thing, I was
Yeah, I
pushed,
believe
pulled
that,
the
Scarlett.
bug, whatever.
Some people only use a small portion of their brain, some people don't even bother using that. But it's like, and I'm not ever going to admonish anyone who has any belief, but the facts are what they are. A lot of paganism has evolved throughout many Christian beliefs. The 12 zodiacs, they've been known for thousands of years, but we have 12 apostles. I could go on and on, but I'm not meaning to be derogatory. It's a natural attrition of humans to combine, and it was done deliberately, I believe, in around the 10th and 11th century, nearly all the way around the globe when Christianity was pushing through, is that they didn't fight pagans, they basically worked with them. So they put a bit of their stuff into, the other stuff. Then the transition from being a pagan to a Christian was a lot easier. Until you came to the Spanish Inquisition. Then it got really tough. I remember that scene in one of the Python movies. I'm not a witch. We'll put her in the water, and if she floats, she's a witch. And she said, fair cop, I'll float. I truly believe, Scarlett, what a lot of people do with what you just said, they are their own worst enemy. They have a self-belief of entitlement, self-belief that they are special. And there's nothing wrong with thinking you're special, but not at the expense of being really special compared to other people. So it's very sad. You see it. There are so many on YouTube that have this delusion, and of grandeur, I suppose, or self-belief that they are beyond normal, and they act it out online. And if you turned off their computer and they stood up and walked around, there'd be no one there. And they went outside, there are no friends to talk to. They've created a virtual world of self-belief, of self-grandeur. And that is very sad. That's it. You can say, oh yeah, but it's okay for them. In the end, I don't think it is to live in such delusion, because it's only a make-believe thing. And reality bites pretty quickly. I truly believe they do, Scarlett, and I don't mean that to be mean to them. And you can't tell them, and they will continue to make the same ridiculous claims over and over again, when in fact they're just like you and me, except they are very lonely. I've seen all different types of faiths around the globe, and they all do the same thing. Belief is very powerful, and most of the time it's in a very good way. It makes them kind, considerate, all the good things in life. Yeah, no, unfortunately, Shauna, I couldn't say that I'm always right, and I don't mind a kick in the bum, but that's okay. I'm human. And as you all see, there are current circumstances, but Shauna's been around long enough like me to know there's been many circumstances where the oh so mighty self-professed legends fall on their sword. This is nothing new. It's exactly what we've been talking about, a delusion of grandeur that never existed. What I said, Shauna, we've been around long enough to see that even the current circumstances we find ourselves on YouTube may be new to many people, but to you and I in particular, we go back a long way, and we know there are many people who have fallen on their sword because of this belief of self-grandeur. It always ends the same way, in disaster. And of course, in modern times on YouTube, the biggest thrust that's put out there is greed. It's one of the most evil traits of humanity. It goes beyond many other things. Greed of attention, greed of money, greed of supposedly power. It is a self-belief that only leads to destruction, of self-destruction. It's okay to be just one of the crowd. You don't have to be special. I shaved half of my beard off today, Danny. I'm doing the Danny G removal plan. I don't know if people would agree with me, but you get this feeling on social media of a groundswell over certain issues. Now, it's either good or bad, groundswell, but there has to be something that triggers that. No, it's all coming off, Danny. And when I shave, I look about 30 years younger, so it's dangerous. Yep, it definitely makes me look 50 when I shave my beard off. Yes, Danny has globally humiliated me over time about being a Sasquatch. So I now have to remove it all. You don't have to call me anything, Danny, except hello. If you don't mind me asking, Tammy says, how old are you? I was born in 1812.
Oh, it's changed again.
It's always been 1812. Your memory is terrible. I tend to think the world, Scarlett, is contracting in fear, and probably rightly so. Yeah, old Gringo's just a young fella. He's another Highlander. Yep, the Earth's frequency is 7.1. So is a human's frequency, or resonance. And there is an imbalance, for sure.
So did you answer Tammy
If I missed it, I apologise.
about
You
how
ever-
old you are?
Yeah, I said I was born in 1812. I'm 208. But have a good day, over 60. You have a great day, Shauna.
See you, Shauna.
I think my answer to that, Scarlett, would be change of any sort has to be better. The suppression of our humanity has reached a level that humans are not accepting anymore. tend to think, old Gringo, that even though terrible things were done to Indigenous people all around the planet, the people that own the planet make us all slaves. We just, a lot of the time, don't recognise it.
Pretty amazing when you say it that way, old. 100 years ago, huh? Just roll that round in your mouth. 100 years ago.
It was like yesterday. Yesterday.
All
Old Gringo.
trouble seems so far
What?
away.
What are you doing? You singing?
Go on.
Damn it. Maar had de peepers. Had to see if we were good. Oh, you got some peepers. They're peepers.
Yeah, a lot of sirens tonight.
There is. There must be car shows on or something.
Twice I've want to fill it up.
No, it really was yesterday, old Gringo. My grandfather lived to be 104. He was born in 1895. I would regularly talk to him, so...
It's just one of those nights, Tammy. The main road sort of is behind us. And
Yeah, that's a
we've-
right you can hear behind
Yeah,
me.
and we've got a football team or whatever they're practicing right now, Tammy.
I think everything has a balance, and when there is an imbalance, there's a reaction, either by Mother Nature or by groups of people. Yes, it's a sports field about half a mile away, but because there is no wind tonight, it's like they're next door. That's where they do the fireworks. So we sit in our back patio, it's like the fireworks are in my backyard. And if the wind blows in the right direction, they are in my backyard. But I will always say this, that the biggest gift you can give anyone has nothing to do with money. It's just time, the most precious commodity you'll ever own, because you never get to keep it, you only get to share it. We are like-minded people to a degree, and we probably sat around 1,000 years ago without the internet. Maybe we were neighbouring tribes and we come together to eat freshly caught deer. We're sitting down with Danny pointing to the forest as I walk towards the campfire. Sasquatch! Sasquatch! But we probably shared the same thoughts then as you're doing now. There's a reason why people come together. There's a reason why people part.
Oh, did I miss Mel?
And Danny's tribal name would have been He Who Squeaks. Sasquatch. Sasquatch.
Yeah, oh, where's Be Right Back, Mel? Yeah, I don't know, Danny. I have messaged her. I'll have a check if she's answered me.
I think it's always remembered, Buttercup. I am cursed with a memory. Details, times, dates, when, what, and it is a curse. It's like I might have an overloaded computer.
She could be working, Danny.
I think a lot of the things that we think of as strength is resilience. Remember what I said about pushing through those darkest hours? And we've all had them. We've all had that journey at one time or more in our lives. But our resilience to move on is an enormous strength through adversity, through bad times, through things you thought would never come good, but you push through. That's the backbone of society. That's the resilience of humanity. Knowing that things are not easy, but you just do what you have to do.
And a lot of people learn a lot in a short space of their lifespan, or experience a lot. I mean, when you think about all the things that you've experienced and done, and at your age, you old bugger.
I just think that, and I want to do this, is these one-on-one conversations, because there's lots of things that people do in their lives that to others are incredible, but to you it might seem like mundane. It just happened, that's what I did. I'm a bit like that. I'm a bit blasé about some of the things that happened in my life, but I thought about it many years ago thinking, well, if other people went through that, I'd be shocked. I would have been frightened for them. So our stories, our paths, our journeys are very important to share, because that is the reason I'm doing it, is because our ancestors used to do the same thing. They would share their journey. It could be a story of their truth, of their life, of their fabric of life. And when you pass things on like that to other people, I think you help them realise that some of the journey that you've done is very similar to theirs. But they and a lot of lonely people think that they're the only one. That's not true. So I'm looking forward to doing these one-on-ones with people, half an hour to an hour, whatever they want to do, because it will not only be interesting, that's the first thing that I think of, but secondly, it could be a healing of sorts for many others.
Yeah, that's like, I think I showed the picture of my daughter the other night. From birth, I've called her Bub, but at the age of 1, she got the nickname Sophia, even though that's not her name, but she was from birth an actress, wasn't she?
Yes, a performer.
A performer, I tell you. So
on every stage.
She got the nickname Sophia, and when she went to America, she actually went to the, what do you call where all the stars are?
Well, she went to the academy. That's where she trained as well.
No, but she went to where all the stars are on the footpath.
Oh yeah, in Hollywood, yeah.
And went to and found Sophia Loren's,
yeah.
Because we'd say, Sophia Loren, what are you doing? Because, yeah, she was...
I remember Sophia Loren when I was about 5 years old, watching 1 Million BC, where men in tiger pants were walking with dinosaurs. That didn't happen. But it was very interesting as a kid, watching these lizards that I didn't know any better. They were lizards, but made out to look like dinosaurs. But a lot of, I used to sit around, my family in particular, on my mother's side, they were storytellers, but normally truths. They were true stories, from grandfathers to great-grandfathers, who would tell stories of like being in World War I, or even way before, stories handed down. It was very common that you just sit around and listen.
Does that work?
I think so, I don't know. The truth is, being alone is not being lonely. It's a myth. A lot of people I know are more than happy with their own company, and they embrace it. Say they've been in a relationship, but they're alone now. They actually embrace it because it's time to themselves they never had. They had to comply to what other people wanted to do, but now that freedom of expression, and it allows you to think. So just because you are alone, you're never lonely. I believe a lot of people that have life experiences and then they're single and they're alone, if you like, they develop unbelievably. Their creativity is unleashed. So, and that's a good thing, because one thing we've lost on this planet is the creativity of people. Some people wouldn't even know if they could draw or paint or sculpt, because they'll never do it. But they may have a natural gift, hereditary, passed on to them perhaps. Yeah, it's also a powerful position to be in, Scarlett, along the lines that you determine how your life unfolds. You can have the same thing in a relationship, it's just not that common, but you can. But when two people get together, there's always this thought about, oh, I'll never change you, wife to husband, husband to wife. But as time passes, invariably one way is more powerful than the other, and they lose their self-expression. But life's good. Don't think it's not. You can always turn this off. Go for a brisk walk,
Like Buttercup does
or in Danny's case, very brisk walk in her dreams,
yeah,
because she's not wearing any clothing.
yeah, and Buttercup in the wind.
Sonia, because his mind constantly goes, it's almost crippling sometimes. He often gets bored. He doesn't like going out in public often. It's heartbreaking. I have a suggestion then, he's probably not coming to Australia. Doesn't go outside your house, is he going to come down here? I'll definitely be locking my door. Sasquatch, are you in there? Sasquatch,
So it's funny,
I know you're in there.
Because, I mean, come and be honest, Seeds does not like big crowds. Seeds does not like shopping centres. I can window shop and walk around for hours, and I can block out all negative energy and all people's humming and whatever, and look and enjoy it. Not Seeds. He goes in, gets what he wants, and he's out.
But I'm very practical, I'm logical and lateral thinker. I know A, B, C, D, E, boom.
Well, that's fine.
But
that's
I still
you.
like watching people. I would sit in a corner, have coffee, and
Yeah.
not even say anything, but just watch people
to
move around
actual-
the planet.
Going to shopping centres, you're not keen on doing that.
Some
Or
people.
big public.
Oh, look, I
events.
can go to a function. There's no problem. I don't have any issues there. I just prefer not to
Not
be in
to.
amongst 1,000 people.
Yeah.
I have no problem conversing with people, but Danny's husband maybe just has decided that he doesn't particularly like the rest of the planet. That sometimes happens, with good cause.
And it's not, insomnia is not fun.
Maybe people us. You know what I realise what it is? No, I know what it is. It's a speed trap.
Oh, it's this. Well, that's good.
Yeah, they're just pulling people over and whacking them
Good.
with $300 fines. Have a good evening.
What I don't believe in is people posting on social media where the booze bus is or where a speed camera is. They get caught.
Yeah.
Good. Oh, yeah, that can be, Danny. Photographic memory is not fun.
I've sort of got that.
No, that's that's a chase. Or maybe they're just going somewhere.
It's a speed trap with 2, 3 cops and they're just one after the other
Yeah.
pulling people over. It's just too often in a row
It has been tonight, hasn't
Yeah. and it stops, is why I'm saying it's a speed chase. As in
It's a
a
trap.
ticket.
Yeah, some people just aren't good in crowds, it's true. It's the energy that's given off is what they can't handle.
Can I ask, Danny, without being intrusive, is your husband in his 60s, 70s? I don't know, I'm only asking. Yep, that's good. Goes like camping. A lot of men, as they come towards the end of their working career, fail badly at the transition from work colleagues, job, interaction, going to work at 7 and coming home at, oh, he's still a young puppy at 51. But you know what I'm saying, Danny, that women tend to transition a lot easier from work to retirement. Men are very bad at it. Sounds brilliant, Tammy. Nothing like travel, new horizons, the final frontier. Oh, if you just think about the frequencies flying around us today, did not exist when I was a boy. And they're everywhere. Transmissions of all types, radio, antenna from television, infrared systems,
High tension wires.
Wi-Fi, it just goes on and on. And that didn't exist when we were kids. Yes, that's what you want to do, Tammy. You need to buy a DeLorean, forget the RV.
Well, age is only a number. I mean, I don't feel my age. You don't feel your age, do you?
I don't think of age, to be honest. I have conversations with 5-year-old grandchildren as I would do with a 100-year-old man. Interesting, whatever subject matter. Old people are a wealth of knowledge. And some people say, oh, that old bloke's rambling on and on. He's actually probably telling you something important.
You're driving home.
Drive
Ringo,
carefully.
You finished work, have you? No texting, remember? Put the phone down. All these police sirens here will be after you.
There's a big push for 5G in Australia. Family just turned 56. She's a young chicken.
Oh, I'm 57, Tammy. Seeds is 110. No, he's 61. 60. No, actually, how old
Well,
are you? 60?
in Earth years, I'm 208. On the official records, I'm 60.
You're 60, yeah, and I'm 57. See, I sometimes have to say to Seeds, how old am I this year? Because it's sort of, it's no big deal to us. Oh, happy birthday, Tammy, from last week.
Just one more year, Tammy, and you get a tin of baked beans. Heinz 57.
Well, that's me.
Scarlett is a chicken at 65.
Oh, you need your map? Okay, well...
Let's hope the grid
follow
doesn't
it.
go down. Old Gringo 3 years later. I'm still driving. I can't find anything.
Seeds, are you there? Seeds, are you on? I'm lost.
I'm in Puerto Rico. How did I get here? Happy birthday.
Yeah, Scarlett, that's right.
To you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Tammy. Hit the road, girl. Let's go.
Well, just don't be driving around trying to find home windows on your days off.
Well, we all do that now. We get in the car, turn on the GPS on your phone and follow it. Adios.
Drive safe. Oh, we finished playing.
Lights are going out.
We'll see if the speed thing moves then.
Mr. Bacon, welcome to the room. I want my hash browns and running real soon. Mr. Bacon, keeping it cool.
Yep.
Sounds like a good relaxing time, old Gringo.
With pizza.
Cold beer and cold pizza. You're living the high life.
birds or something in that tree.
I bet there are finches in that tree because it's so dense.
Or those ducks.
What's the word? He screams out to the crowd of 10,000. They all answer in unison, bacon!
Oh, enjoy your day, Scarlett.
Have a good one, Scarlett. I think Danny G's on a day off because she would be long gone by now. She's relaxing in a caftan with the gentle breeze of the cold blowing in through the French doors, sipping on a martini, being served to her by a very large Sasquatch.
Oh, the
Drink,
dogs.
madam.
Oh, Buttercup, take those poor puppies out.
Good to have a day off. You work hard. We probably, on our recent trip, for me, it highlighted how many, a lot of women travel together, don't get me wrong, like friends. But husbands don't go.
No, we won't
We
go
met,
on our trip,
met
didn't we?
quite a lot. Lovely people, don't get me wrong, like they're good friends over long periods. And it's good because the agreement is, I want to do something. Well, I don't. Okay, well, I'm going anyway. That's good. She's taking a wee little doggies out for a wee.
Yep. In the wind. In the
Probably a
blowing
nice day
gale.
today. She's had enough gales for a couple of weeks. Danny G said she's going to bring a ukulele.
Is she?
We're going to have to sing along.
You'll have your guitar by then.
Yeah. Mind you, I do like the sound of a ukulele. I just knew how to play one. There's 4 and 5 string. I think I'd have to go for the 5 string.
I've got a violin you can play, Danny.
It's a Stradivarius.
It actually was made by Stradivarius' understudy, or
Okay.
whatever you call
Bloke
it.
who knew Stout Strad.
Oh, Stradivarius was his teacher.
Actually, we'll put that on the wall, I think. What do you reckon?
Yeah. So technically, yes, it's a Stradivarius because it was made in his
Studio.
premises. Yeah.
Yep.
Still.
Had a breath of wind.
Battery's low.
I think we may adieu soon ourselves. Actually, we haven't hung out the washing, have we?
Huh?
Have you hung the washing out?
Yeah, I put it in the text about an hour ago. Be right back doing
Oh,
woman
right.
duty,
I just thought
hanging
you went to the
washing
loo.
up. No.
It's a long way between here and the laundry. I couldn't see you.
I did say I've hung it up. Don't know who's coming tomorrow, so I'll just have to move it maybe.
I don't know if anyone's coming tomorrow. I know Thursday someone's coming to sand the floor. Remind me to move that little sheet up against that wall tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll
Very
do,
thin.
We'll do all that tomorrow. Move everything.
Well, good people, thank you for your presence around the campfire. It's been enjoyable. And when we get back on our small journey, in about a week's
Danny
time.
had to go to the party room, to the potty room.
Potty room.
So what's your plans for today then, Danny?
Relax.
Make more shot
make
glasses
4,000 shot glasses.
and cook bacon.
There's one thing you'll never be able to make a shot glass out of in Australia, Danny. That's an emu egg.
What?
Because it weighs about 16 ounces.
Oh,
Yeah.
with the yolk out.
It's been good having your company. And I should turn the camera around this way for a moment. See what you've done to me, Danny G. I only have half a beard left.
What?
Only half the man I was yesterday.
What do you mean half?
But there'll be more on Snapchat, referencing a large Sasquatch, bringing me down to my knees. Bacon egg sounds good.
And then clean the house.
So it's good night for me, good people.
Love yous. Good night. I can't see it, Danny said.
It's only half a beard, Danny.
No, it's not.
You've broken me.
It's all there.
I'm on the edge.
You're scared. You don't give her nightmares. She'll be so upset if you get rid of it.
I'll be bald by the time you meet me. Have a great day and night, everyone.